Hey, everybody, it's Mel Robbins, and I am here reading my best-selling book, The High Five Habit, for free to you. Today, we are on chapter 2. For those of you reading along, we are on page 23. And before we jump in, I just wanted to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you. You made us the #2 best-selling book on all of Amazon last week. You also, because of your support, we were #2 on the New York Times bestseller list. We were also the #1 audiobook in the world right now on all of Audible, and that's thanks to you. If you are, if you've read the book, I'd love to know what you got out of reading The High Five Habit. I'd love to know if you took the High Five Challenge and what you got out of the challenge. And if you are thinking about buying the book, please do. You're going to want this book. You're going to want to come back to it. This is a transformational, game-changing book. You're going to see people in the comments from around the world telling you that this was the best book that they've ever read. It's made the biggest difference in their lives. Thank you. I see so many of you saying, I read it in one night. It's that good. I'm reading it again. And I am showing up and reading the book for free online, because I know there are many people, particularly after this pandemic, and many of you still going through the pandemic, who are really struggling, and you cannot afford to buy the book. And so I'm reading it for free because I want every single person on the planet to have access to the information in this book. And if you got friends that are struggling, please get them a copy and just mail it to them. Don't even tell them it's coming. It's a way to send somebody a high five. So here we go. We are on page 23. We are going to complete chapter 2 today. And I'm going to show up every day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern every day this week. And I'm going to read you a complete chapter. So please set your notifications so you don't miss a thing. Please tag friends that need to see this. And I am totally here for you. So while I get going, why don't you tell everybody where you are watching from right now around the world? If you've read the book, what you've gotten out of it. And yes, I agree with you. This would be an absolutely extraordinary holiday present for people. And right now it's $16 in the United States on Amazon. All right, here we go. Page 23, if you want to read along, chapter 2. Oh, wait, it says it's paused due to poor connection. Okay, here we are. What, pause due to poor connection? Hold on, everybody. Let me make sure. I should not be pausing. We should be totally good to go. Okay, here we go. I was just waiting for our friends on Instagram. Crushing your business goals as a team. So chapter 2, everybody, is about the science and the research that shows why a high five is more than just a gesture. Why a high five changes you physiologically, neurologically, emotionally, spiritually. And we are also just going through the research related to high fives and how high fives are integral. For example, what we've already covered in chapter 2 is that researchers have proven that a simple high five with no words is the most effective way. Okay, hold on one second. Everybody, I want to make sure that Instagram is all set, and it says it keeps connecting due to a poor connection, and that is just not acceptable. Hold on one second, everybody on Instagram. I want to just see what's happening and why. Let's get to Robin's 5G. Everybody, hold on. I don't know why. Okay, we're back up. Okay, here we go. We're back up, everybody. We're back up. I hope that this will help, because it says we're paused due to a poor connection. Can you guys see me on Instagram, everybody? Is it okay? Is it choppy? It was frozen. Shoot. It's pausing due to a poor connection nonstop. Let me kill the cellular, and everybody on Instagram, IG's coming in and out. Let's see if we can make sure that this is okay. All right, let's see if that works, because I'm trying to pause the cell phone. Hi, everybody. It's cutting in and out a bit. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, it looks like we might be good now. All right, we're going to go. Everybody, we're going to go. I think you broke out too many people on this live stream. That's hilarious. Looks like IG's ready because we killed. Thank you to YouTube. Thank you, LinkedIn. Thank you, Twitter. And thank you, Facebook, for pausing with me while I just let our friends on Instagram get connected. Here we go. So we're in chapter 2. We're on page 23 if you want to read along with us. I am reading the High Five Habit cover to cover. Chapter 2 covers all the science, and we have already explained what happens neurologically in your brain when you high five yourself. You get dopamine. You get a boost of energy due to your nervous system recognizing a high five. We've already covered the fact that the best way, based on research, to empower somebody through a challenging task is to give them a simple high five. Way better than any form of verbal praise. We have also covered a research study that talks about how winning teams, particularly in the NBA, they high five each other. They pat each other on the back. They fist bump each other. And those gestures build trust and partnership. Now we're going to jump into crushing your business goals, okay? And how a high five is relevant for you in business. If you want your team to feel motivated, if you want to crush your business goals, you need the high five habit, okay? Because this high five is not just for sports. You see, you need to be seen, supported, and celebrated at work too. There's research from Google that supports this. Everybody improves it. Google conducted a 3-year-long study called Project Aristotle. You can Google it. There's a big article in the New York Times that Charles Duhigg, who wrote The Power of Habits, wrote about Project Aristotle. Project Aristotle set out to determine what makes for the best teams at Google. The finding was the same as all of the research that I've already unpacked in chapter 2, everyone. High-performing teams in work and life are ones where every team member feels seen, heard, and can trust their teammates. The best teams create what's called psychological safety. Feeling like other people have your back and will cheer you on makes you more resilient and optimistic at work. It creates an atmosphere of trust and respect. And to take it a layer deeper, everyone, research also shows that the single biggest difference in whether or not you enjoy your job and find your work meaningful is not the quality of what you're producing or the number of vacation days you get or even how much you're paid. The linchpin to your happiness at work is whether or not you have a boss who cares about you. How many of you can relate to this? How many of you can relate to this? The linchpin to your happiness at work is whether or not you have a boss that cares about you. It makes so much sense, right? That's because you have a profound need to be seen, to be heard, and to be celebrated in relationships, and at work, period. And so a high five embodies all of this, everybody. A high five in the mirror communicates those exact things to yourself. You see, a high five manager, a high five boss is somebody who has your back. A high five boss is someone you can trust and who trusts you. And when you walk into work, you want to feel like you matter, right? Of course you do. That's how you want to feel, everyone. I see pretty rude art saying that's why I quit my last job, That's why I quit my last job, because I did not feel seen and appreciated. How many of you can relate to this, right? Well, that's why a high five in the mirror every morning is so important. It communicates those exact same things that you need to yourself. If a good day at work is about being appreciated, doesn't it make sense to start every day by appreciating yourself? Of course it does. High five, everybody. You think that's convincing? I want you to read this. All that research explains why high-fiving feels so motivating and empowering, but it doesn't end there. I'm not going to ask you to high-five yourself every morning in the mirror in your underwear and tell you it's going to change your life unless I really know it's going to make a difference. So I wanted to understand how a high five changes your brain at a structural level, because that's what I was experiencing. How many of you have been either participating in the high five challenge or you've read the high five habit and you're starting to high five yourself every morning in the mirror and you're starting to notice a shift? How many of you feel this? It's shocking, isn't it? It's a profound shift. Describe for our friends that have not tried the high five habit, who have not gotten the book, what you are experiencing when you high five yourself in the mirror, okay? You explaining it will help somebody understand why this is so profound. over time, here's what I experienced, everybody. Over time, as I would start my day by high-fiving myself, the woman in the mirror, my mind stopped focusing on my flaws. And I was able to accept the woman I saw in the mirror as I am. First of all, let me just tell you something. Not everybody shows up on Instagram having slept in their makeup with their gray hair coming in, having every hair of mine out of place. And I have greasy face. You know that face that you start to have where your egg, every time I eat scrambled eggs, my face feels kind of greasy. That's how I am right now. I am just as myself. And one of the reasons why it's so easy for me to just show up as myself, no matter how I look, no matter what's happening with the hair or the face, is because I don't care. I know, because I'm practicing the high five habit, that the human being, Mel Robbins, deserves to be celebrated and deserves encouragement and support. I have stopped worrying about what I look. You know what I mean? Because I know that's not what's important. The level of confidence that you have when you start practicing this, the level of self-acceptance, it's bananas. I absolutely love what y'all are writing. Absolutely love what you're writing. Keep sharing what you are getting by high-fiving yourself every morning in the mirror and from reading this book. So, I was experiencing all of this change in my brain, everybody. And so I wanted to understand what was happening. And so I started with a body of research called neurobics. And this was discovered by Dr. Lawrence Katz. Dr. Katz is a neurobiologist and a researcher at Duke University. Neurobic interventions are one of the easiest, most profound ways to create new pathways and connections in your brain. In an aerobic exercise, a routine activity, let's say looking at yourself in the mirror, is paired with two things. Number one, something unexpected that involves your senses, like high-fiving the person you see in the mirror, yourself. And two, an emotion you'd like to feel, like celebration. Neurobic exercises make your brain snap into attention. The act creates a kind of brain fertilizer that makes your brain learn new habits faster. This heightened state creates new nerve connections in your brain that connect the action, which was once something routine, high-fiving other people, but then when done in an unexpected way, high-fiving yourself in the mirror, it puts your brain on alert with the emotion you'd like to feel. For example, studies have found that brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand while repeating a thought forces your brain to pay close attention to that message. Using your non-dominant hand makes your brain focus, so your brain zones in on everything that's happening, including what you're saying while you're brushing your teeth. This effort makes you accurately remember the words and the feelings they evoke because you paired it with this new physical habit, brushing your teeth with the wrong hand. The high five works in a similar way. When you high five yourself in the mirror, something you normally don't do, your brain pays attention. Thanks to decades of positive neuroassociation with the high five, your brain begins to marry all that positive neural association and programming with the image of yourself. Hey, Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is the kind of person that I support, that I love, that I celebrate, that I cheer for. That's what that's what the high five is doing, everybody. And thanks to the decades of positive association with the high five, your brain begins to marry that positive association with the image of yourself. Our brains like to rely on mental shortcuts like this, which is why the high five habit is the fastest and easiest way to override your pattern of looking at yourself and feeling self-doubt and self-hatred, and replacing it with the feeling of self-love and self-respect. How cool is this? How cool is this? It's pretty damn cool, right? Now, for those of you just tuning in, we are reading chapter 2 today of the high five habit. If you have the book, turn to page 25 of your New York Times bestseller and your Amazon #2 best-selling book of the week. I am actually going to stand up. I am so exhausted, everybody, from this week. I am standing up. You don't even notice that I'm raising my desk. I have a standing desk. I am so freaking smoked from launching this book that I actually need to stand up to get my energy up because even though I'm reading it for free, I want to deliver an empowering experience for y'all. So we are now on page 25, MIT high fives and dyslexia. And in case you didn't know, I have dyslexia, and so does my son. And so there's some really interesting research that I learned from MIT about the power of neurobic interventions. And the high five is a neurobic intervention. I see Modern Guru TV said I did the high five and I immediately cried with self-compassion. That's absolutely, absolutely beautiful, everybody. And thank you to those of you who have bought a copy of the High Five Habit. You made it #2 on the New York Times. It was the second highest selling book on Amazon last week. It's the #1 audiobook in the world right now on Amazon. If you've loved the book, please get a copy for friends. Just don't even tell them. Just go online, order a copy, and send it to them like a high five you're going to send through the mail. Okay. So page 25, everybody, chapter 2. Here we go. I soon realized I'd seen the power of neurobic interventions in our son, Oakley. In the 4th grade, we figured out that Oakley had dyslexia and dysgraphia, which are language-based learning differences, and we enrolled him in a school that specializes in language-based learning. It's called the Carroll School, and it's here outside of Boston, Massachusetts. I sat in on a tutoring session once where the teacher explained to me that the school was part of an ongoing research program with an MIT neuroscience lab. And the interventions they were doing with our son and all the dyslexic students were designed to stimulate new neural pathway development. Now, here's one of the challenges with being dyslexic. It's that so many of the neural pathways that connect from one side of the brain to the other, they're just not formed yet. Literally, it's like gray matter. And the school that our son went to was using neurobic intervention to stimulate new neural pathways and mental flexibility in our son. I think about it kind of like the way that, you jump a car when the battery goes dead. The wiring is there in your brain. It just needs a little neurobic spark to fire up. Now let's talk about this. The wiring is in your brain, your body, your mind, and your spirit to love yourself. The wiring is there to be compassionate with yourself. The wiring is there to be kind with yourself. You just need a little neurobic physical spark to kick that wiring to fire up again. That's part of the reason why, how many of you, when you first high-fived yourself, you either cried or you laughed? That's right. That's right. The reason why you cried or you laughed is because that neurobic intervention of high-fiving your own reflection, what it did is it stimulated your nervous system. It sparked it to give you a little celebratory jolt. And the second thing that happened is when you high-fived yourself with that neurobic intervention, your brain recognized the high five and it gave you some dopamine. That's why you laugh. That's why your mood feels better. That's why a lot of you cry, because you feel this release of connecting with yourself. And so back to the school and neurobic interventions. My son's school had a gigantic board covered with little lights and a line down the center of the board. And whenever one of the lights would light up, our son was asked to touch the light with one of his hands. Now, here's the catch. He had to use his left hand to touch something on the right side of the board. He had to use his right hand to touch something on the left side of the board. Combining the thought, touch it on the right side, with the physical action of moving your left arm to the opposite side, started to forge mental dexterity. It literally changed the structure of his brain, making new neural pathways, just like plowing a driveway in the snow. How many of you felt like it was weird when you first high-fived yourself? Yep. Okay, good. That's normal, and that's a good sign. Feeling weird as you high-five yourself in the mirror is a sign that it's working. When a plow plows a fresh path in snow, the snow kind of creates this resistance. The weirdness that you feel is your brain plowing new neural pathways. This is new for you to spark this connection. Okay, excellent. Yep. Jazzy USA said, yep, it felt a bit weird. Just keep doing it. The more that you do this neurobic intervention of high-fiving your reflection and demonstrating to your brain that you treat yourself with respect, with encouragement. For those of you that are trying to remember to do it, put a Post-it note on your mirror. It can be a Post-it note with your hand. It can be a Post-it note that says high five. It can be a Post-it note that says, I love you, something to trigger you to remember to do it. Somebody else just wrote, I feel afraid when I do it. That's okay. It's been so long since you've loved yourself. It's been so long since you've treated yourself with kindness. It's been so long that you have trusted that your life is going to work out, that sometimes it is scary to just let go of all that fear and that gripping, and to raise your hand with a sense of, I believe in myself. Okay, that's okay. You're going to push through it, just like anything in life. Okay, anything in life. Is it better to high five yourself with the opposite hand? I never tried it. I suppose you could. Yeah, why not? Try it. You know, it's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I would think it would work with both hands. I don't know. That's awesome. Yes, we are going to post this. Tag your friends. Make sure you pick up a copy of the High Five Habit. We are on page 26 of chapter 2. The more you repeat the behavior, the more your brain associates confidence and celebration with your own reflection. Your subconscious is programmed to associate celebration, belief, and possibility with a high five. So when you raise your hand to your own reflection, your subconscious mind says, oh, wait a minute, I am somebody who's worth celebrating, believing in, and I can make anything happen. That's right. And over time, as you repeat this new habit, everybody, it will flip your default opinion of yourself from negative to positive. And at the same time, you're going to be reprogramming your subconscious to stop criticizing your reflection and start loving it. We're on page 26. We need to talk about the story you tell yourself. We're going to talk a lot about that in this book, everybody. Now, at this point in my research, I was convinced that the high five in the mirror was creating new neural pathways, helping me strengthen my self-esteem, self-worth, and self-confidence. But I still wanted to make sure. So I called one of the world's leading experts in how the brain learns new information and habits, neuroscientist Dr. Judy Willis. And we had this conversation, everybody. I told her about the high five habit and how it had made a profound difference in my life, and how it was working for hundreds of people that I had spoken to as I had started researching this book. And she explained how the brain can be changed. And you're going to learn more about her groundbreaking insights throughout the book. In fact, I cannot wait for you to read chapter 13, where we're going to cover how your nervous system impacts cognitive functioning and how to use your vagus nerve to your advantage. Now, Dr. Willis agreed that with this simple practice of high-fiving your own reflection every morning in the mirror, you will indeed create a new, more positive, automatic behavior, belief, and new neural pathways in your mind. And look, if I can do it, so can you. This validation of the high five habit is critical because, as you will learn in chapters 4, 5, and 6, whatever you think over and over and over becomes your default subconscious belief. How many of you are tired of how you think about yourself? How many of you are tired of beating yourself up, of doubting yourself, of telling yourself that you're a bad person, or that you're damaged or not good enough, or that nothing works out for you? You got to be careful about what you say to yourself, because over time, as you repeat it, remember, your relationship with yourself actually determines how you experience life. It's the foundation of every relationship that you have. You're going to want to be here every day this week at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, because we're going to get to chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6 this week. For years, that default of yours has probably been something awful. I'm not good enough. Nothing works out for me. I always screw everything up. Why bother? God, am I ugly? Mine, as soon as you will learn, is that everything is my fault and someone's always mad at me. Ooh, looks like a lot of you resonate with that one. You're going to learn how to use the high five habit to reprogram that default belief, because more than anything, you need to learn how to be kind to yourself. We're now on page 27. Be kind, be kind, be kind. We're reading from chapter 2 of the High Five Habit, everybody. So one final piece of research in chapter 2, everyone. When researchers study all the things you could do to change your life that make a meaningful impact on the quality of your life, the simple, most important change is making it a habit to be kind to yourself. Researchers at the University of Hertfordshire, I cannot speak. I'm exhausted. I'm sorry. It's been a long 3 weeks. Can't pronounce that either. In the UK, did a study on things that create happiness and satisfaction. They looked at a whole range of behaviors and habits that you could do to improve your life, from exercising to trying new things to working on your relationships to being kind to others, to doing things that bring you a sense of meaning, to working on your goals. You name it, they studied it. That study concluded that the number one predictor of how happy and satisfied you could be, get this, drum roll please, self-acceptance. That's right. Meaning, how kind you are to yourself and how much you cheered for yourself had a direct and proportionate impact on your happiness and fulfillment. I love Marheen tagging her friend and saying, that's why I don't like it when you say bad things about yourself. Yeah, I don't like it when people I love say bad things about themselves either. But here's the thing. You and I can't change what somebody else says to themselves. That's why if you truly love somebody and you can afford it, buy them a copy of this book and just send it to them with a little I love you note. Seriously, it's $16 on Amazon. Send somebody you care about a high five through the mail by sending them this book. It will change their lives because it will teach them how to delete that self-criticism and replace it with a voice that is encouraging and kind. And that's what we all need to do, because being kind to yourself, based on research, everybody, has the power to completely change your life. And here's the funny thing, self-acceptance and kindness, it's what we practice the least. You and I will drink the kale smoothie, we'll go to the gym, we'll get up earlier, we'll cut out gluten and meditate. But the entire time we're doing it, we're beating ourselves up. I didn't meditate long enough. I didn't work out long enough. The kale smoothie, I should have done this sooner. Like, isn't it ironic? Here you are doing all this stuff to try to change your life, and you're beating the daylights out of yourself as you're doing it. Yep, I know. I'm doing it too. Thank you. I see a bunch of you saying that you just listened to the interview with Fern Cotton on her Happy Place official podcast. That was an incredible conversation. Lots of content there on Amazon, on anxiety and panic. And by the way, if you're struggling with anxiety, everybody, this book is a game changer. All the tools grounded in science. It begins with the high five in the mirror, but boy, oh boy, do I unpack anxiety in this book. So we're on page 28 for those of you reading along of chapter 2. So why don't you do it? Why are you not kind to yourself, everybody? None of us have been taught. How? Did anyone ever teach you how to be kind to yourself? No. You've been taught to be nice to other people and to be polite and probably to be seen and not heard and to keep your voice down and to have good manners. You've been taught all those things. But has anybody actually taught you how to be kind to yourself? No. And based on research, being kind to yourself, being encouraging as you are trying, that is what will change your life. None of us have been taught how to be kind to ourselves. It's that simple. Our parents were hard on themselves, so in turn, they're hard on us. You may have grown up with a mom who criticized herself in the mirror, or who felt guilty for taking time to herself, or a father who didn't express his emotions and measured his self-worth based on what he earned or how he achieved success outside the home and came home frustrated every single night, yelling at everybody. If you're tough on yourself, you might want to blame the tough love you received as a child. Suck it up, pull up your big girl pants, wipe away those tears. Oh, this one makes me angry when people say, well, my father hit me too and I turned out okay. Bullshit. Honestly, that one really makes me angry. The worst parenting excuse in the world is, well, it was done to me and I survived it, so it's okay if I do it to you. That's right. I see somebody saying, you're right, Mel, we're not taught what to do when life gets hard. Let me tell you what to do when life gets hard. You start your day with a high five. Just like when a team is down, they don't scream at each other in a huddle. They lift each other back up. That's what you need to be doing. When life is hard in particular, you got to have the high five habits in this book. You got to know how to lift yourself up when life pounds you down. That's why you need a copy of the high five habit today. If you have not read this yet, go read the reviews, everybody. The reviews are so jaw-dropping, deeply personal, deeply personal. This book will change your life because it changes you and how you treat yourself. This is this is the most important thing in the world I've ever talked about, the high five habit. I'm telling you, it's why I'm reading it for free. And for those of you joining, get your books out. We're on page 28. Luckily, patterns are meant to be broken. That's where we're going. We're going to finish chapter 2 in a matter of 10 minutes, everybody. I'm so happy that you finished the book. I see people saying, I'm so happy that you loved it. I see everybody rereading it. This is a book you're going to come back to. Seriously, over and over and over again. This should be required reading for every human being, because nobody has taught you how to be kind to yourself. Nobody has taught you that you deserve to be lifted up. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to be encouraged. I'm serious, everybody. All right. You know, your parents just repeated what was done to them, and nobody taught your parents how to be kind to themselves or how to lift themselves up. That's why you don't know how to do it. That's why you need the high five habit. That's why I'm here. And that's why you're so tough on yourself. You're just repeating what was done. As a kid, your brain absorbs everything around you. And that explains your unconscious drive to just constantly repeat dynamics you learned as an infant or as a child, even if you don't like those dynamics. I love Jean Scott saying, my mindset is already so different, and she hasn't even finished the book yet. I'm telling you, it's that powerful, everyone. And I love what you're saying. My mom is kind to others, but not to herself. How many of you are kind to everybody else? But you're constantly beating yourself down. You're constantly picking apart the things you want to fix. You're constantly focusing on what you didn't do. Instead of going, hey, at least I walked around the block today, you're going, oh, I didn't jog like she did. Constantly, boom, boom, boom. You have got to get the high five habit, everybody. It is a gift to yourself, and get it for your best friend. Get it for the people that you love. Because luckily, everybody, patterns are meant to be broken. You are not broken. How many of you feel like you're broken? How many of you feel like there's something about you that's broken? I'm here to tell you, you are not broken. You have patterns of behavior that are broken and that need to be replaced. It's that simple. I love that you're saying this is the best personal development book you've ever read. That's amazing. Yes, I do read the audiobook. Absolutely, I do. You are going to want to get a copy of this guy too, though. Everybody listens to the audiobook, and then I see everybody going, I got to get a copy of the book because I want it. I want to highlight it. I want to put on it. There you go. Luckily, patterns are meant to be broken. Let's break this generational cycle of being hard on ourselves, everybody. Can we do that? Not only does it feel awful to be hard on yourself, but here's more research. Chapter 2, research, people. Research shows that when you're tough on yourself, it has the opposite impact that you want it to have. It's not motivating. It does not encourage you to achieve things. It shuts you down. It makes you feel defeated and discouraged. Being hard on yourself, beating yourself up, being critical of yourself, it's the reason why you feel so stuck. To create a life of happiness and fulfillment, you have to be kinder to yourself. And that begins by practicing acts of kindness toward yourself every day. Now, page 29. We are literally, everybody, just almost done with chapter 2. Page 29 is hugely important. Here we are, for those of you reading along on page 29. Positive thinking is not the answer. Positive thinking is not the answer. Yes, there's going to be a Spanish version. It's coming out in less than a month in terms of the audio. Positive thinking is not the answer. This is not toxic positivity. We're not saying you can high five your problems away. I'm saying you can high five yourself into a different relationship with yourself. And when you become a human being who feels loved and supported and seen and empowered, you change. And that changes your ability to face the circumstances in your life. Got it? Good. If positive thinking alone changed your life, you would have already used it. I want to say something very loud and clear before we keep going. The high five habit is not about fake praise or forced positive thinking. This book and the tools within it are about changing the default programming that keeps you trapped in destructive and unsupportive relationship with yourself based on research how to do it. You cannot think your way to a new life, everybody. You cannot wish your way to it. It's going to require you to practice new habits. If you want your life to be different, you must start acting differently, and you must start making different decisions. While thinking positive thoughts will boost your mood, I know plenty of people who are still stuck no matter how much positivity they try to instill in their lives. In fact, I used to be one of them. Very bubbly on the outside, super toxic and self-destructive on the inside. That's because the obstacles you face are real, and some of them may be extreme. You cannot look at a horrible situation and tell yourself, this is awesome. That's toxic positivity, and you're not going to find any of it in this book. You can't gloss over serious problems, everybody. Problems like childhood trauma, systematic inequalities, addiction, racism, discrimination, chronic pain, abuse, and all the other enormously difficult experiences people face in their lifetimes. I don't know if you know this, but I spent years working as a criminal defense attorney at Legal Aid in New York City. That meant I represented people who had been arrested and accused of crimes who could not afford to hire an attorney. So I was assigned to represent them. I've seen firsthand how poverty and systematic discrimination has pushed people off the paths that they intended for their lives and that they deserved. Life can be and is cruel and unfair at times. So whether your problems are merely annoying or you're facing the kind of problems that crush your soul and spirit, your problems are real, and right now they're in your way. No one knows what it's like to be in your shoes. And I'm going to pause there for a minute because I want to say that again. No one knows what it's like to be in your shoes. That's why you must practice being kind to yourself and giving yourself right now the love, support, and celebration you need. You have the power to face the problems you're facing in life. You have the power to change your life. You can't change what happened, but you can choose what happens next. And that's where your true power is. I always kind of have said that. Oh, you can't change what's happening around you, but you can choose how what you do next. The 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, will help you push through. The high five habit and sending yourself into the game of your life every morning, demonstrating that you see yourself, you support yourself, you believe in your ability to face what's going on. That will foundationally tap into the power inside you. It will flip that switch of belief and grounded confidence. It will give you the resilience, the courage, and the resolve that you need to face the very real problems that you have to deal with in your life. And it'll give you the rocket fuel and the belief that you need to go after those monstrous, amazing dreams that you deserve to have come true. Okay? And we all know you can't think your way to making your dreams happen. You got to work your way there. So no matter how atrocious your past was, you can create a different future. And it doesn't matter that right now your habits are pretty self-destructive or that your mistakes are disastrous. One of the things about getting a copy of the High Five Habit is when you read some of these chapters about some of the disastrous mistakes that I've made, you are literally going to go, Mel Robbins, you were a train wreck woman. I don't even recognize you, Mel Robbins. How can you buy this book? Well, go to Amazon if that's in where you are in the world. Waterstones is in England. It's available in English worldwide right now. Spanish audio is coming. We have already sold this book in 23 languages. So by the end of the year, most of those languages will hopefully be out. Get your copy today. If this public reading is giving you chills, if it feels like I am literally speaking directly to you, give yourself the gift of the High Five Habit. You deserve this book. Yes, it's coming in French. Yes, it's coming in Russian. Get it in English right now. I love that in South Africa, Melanie's 49 and the book is changing her life. This is real. This is not a drill. I believe this with every fiber of my being. And if you need more reassurance, you shouldn't. But if you need more reassurance, just look at the reviews on Audible and Amazon. You will literally have to pick your jaw up off the floor. Yes, it's coming in Greek. Yes, it's coming like literally 23 languages and counting. It's going to be out in every language. You want Arabic? Absolutely. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because this strikes down to the core of what human beings need right now. Aren't you tired of feeling uncertain? Aren't you tired of waiting for the world to go back to normal? Aren't you tired of feeling stressed out and feeling like you can't do anything right? Don't you deserve a little celebration? Don't you deserve a little jolt of energy? Don't you deserve to feel more optimistic and supported and empowered? Hell yes, you do. Right now is the best moment to take control of your life. So if you've got chills, you better buy this book right now, period. I see Mary's been doing the High Five since the 28th of September. It is a game changer, period. It is a game changer, everybody. All right. It doesn't matter that your habits are self-destructive or that your mistakes have been disastrous. And I've made some disastrous mistakes in my life. And if you don't believe me, just pull up a chair because I think it's in chapter 2. You better put your seatbelt on. You and I are going to go toe to toe in terms of who has done worse things in their life. And I might catch you beat. No matter how deep your pit of shame may be, you can climb out of it and you can start anew. High-fiving yourself won't change any of those things that have happened or the very real challenges you are facing right now. It changes you. The habits and tools in this book make you better equipped to face the circumstances of your life. Whether you're waking up in a domestic violence shelter, or you're on the first day after a breakup, or the day after being fired, or losing somebody you love, or maybe you're on your 5th round of chemo, like Jen is. Look at beautiful Jen right there. She says, not high-fiving in the mirror, but high five for my 5th round of chemo. One more reason. What's that say? One more round to go. And Jen just appeared with me on Dr. Oz. She looks amazing. Amazing. And you know, what I love about Jen is listen to what Jen had to say, everybody. Got a friend who's struggling with an illness? Why not send them a copy of the High Five Habit with a little gift note? Seriously. Somebody just popped into your mind and is going to pop into your mind as I read Jen's testimonial to you. You ready? Jen said, keeping the right mental attitude is 99% of the battle to getting through cancer and getting through chemo. I'm always concerned about everyone else and pulling everyone else up and encouraging them. And I forget to encourage myself sometimes. That's why I love just looking in the mirror and giving myself a high five and being like, you can do it. This round of chemo I'm going through has been kind of kicking my ass a bit. So I go and I give myself a high five to encourage myself, to be my own cheerleader. It's how I'm taking control and being that positive life in my own life to move forward. How freaking powerful is it? Yeah, and I see somebody saying with social distancing, it's hard to be able to high five others. You're right. And that's not what this book is about. This book is about high fiving yourself because we're all really good at high fiving everybody else. I want you to become amazing, gifted, an expert at giving that same high five, that support, that celebration, that encouragement that we all desperately need. Okay? Yes, you will feel an instant boost. Yes, you will. And I do agree with you. This book is exactly what the world needs right now, which is why I want you to get a copy for yourself. For those of you reading along, we are almost done. We're at page 31 here, the end of chapter 31. You still need convincing? Got any cynics on here? Still need convincing? After an entire chapter on research? Wow. At this point, I know I sound like a broken record, but that brings me back to the mirror. Making it a habit to see yourself every morning and raise your hand in celebration of yourself is the first step in building a new relationship with yourself. It's the most important relationship you have. Your relationship with yourself shapes every other relationship and decisions you make. When you replace that self-doubt and self-criticism and self-hatred that is dragging you down with self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-respect, self-worth, and self-love that will lift you up, your life will change. This is honestly the secret to everything. So, how about you make this a daily habit? All right, that is the end of chapter 2. Tomorrow, we are going to go to chapter 3. I have a few questions. Now, for those of you in the United States, if you get a copy on Amazon today, you'll probably have this delivered by tomorrow in time to read along with me. If you have chills as I'm reading you the high five habit, stop thinking 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and find yourself a copy. If you cannot afford a book, I've got you covered. I will be here every day this week. I'm going to try to read a chapter a day from the High Five Habit. This is, by the way, the number 2 selling book on all of Amazon last week. This is a number 2 on the New York Times bestseller list. This is a Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Publishers Weekly bestseller. This is the number 1 audiobook on Audible in the world right now. And I'm showing up here for free because I am absolutely committed that every single human being on the planet learns the simple tools inside this book and know how to use it to change their life by changing their relationship with themselves. Making it a habit to give yourself the love and the support that you need and deserve, it will fundamentally change your life. And that's why I'm here. So if you have not bought a copy and you can afford to buy a copy, please get a copy. If this is giving you chills, treat yourself to the gift of having this book. If you're thinking of people that you love that are struggling, please send them a copy of this book. I absolutely am so happy. Thank you, Susie, for just ordering it. I love that, it's okay that you can't afford it right now. It's okay. I've been there. I've been at a point in my life where I could not buy groceries, where every bank account was in the red. When you can afford it, get yourself a copy, but also know I'm here. I will be here. Thank you, Starlin, for purchasing the book. And I will be here every day this week at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And we will also post these live readings to our accounts. So if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram, know that we have your back. Trish, thank you for, or PCT, thank you for just buying the book. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Pooja, thank you for ordering this for your mom and for your coaching clients. Thank you, everybody, for getting yourself a copy. Thank you for waiting patiently for your book in Argentina and in Iceland. Thank you, M. CoStar, for ordering. If you are ordering the book, please let me know so I can give you a shout out. If you're a little shaky right now, Kelbelly47, you're right. It's because of all those stored emotions. This is an act of defiance to years of self-hatred. This is an act of trust and partnership and coming home to yourself. The shakiness is you breaking through all of that crap that's had you trapped for perhaps decades. Thank you, Stucker Beth, for ordering. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on and ordering right now. Thank you for Triffle Rudolph for just ordering. Yes, you can order it in Norway. Yep, you send to Europe, go to Waterstones, go to Amazon in Europe. They both have it. I know a lot of the independent bookstores are sold out. Just be patient. Thank you for ordering it, everybody. Thank you for buying it on Kindle, and thank you for getting now the hard copy. I really appreciate your support, everybody. That's why I'm here. Together, we're making this available for people who cannot afford it. I'm also bringing it to life for you. Thank you, Arlie, for purchasing one today. After years of self-hatred, you're right. You deserve to get rid of it. If you've got tears in your eyes, get this book in your hands. If you've got chills in your veins, get this book in your hands. You want this because you not only want to be able to hold it, you want to be able to see the other people around the world, just like you and me, who are implementing the tools in this book. You want to be able to see that people are, in fact, doing things that are making a difference. I wanted to show you one other thing inside this book that I wanted you to, of course, I can't find the page when I need to flip to it. But I want you to have the book if you can afford it, because you are absolutely going to want to highlight this. This is a book that is filled with images of other people, so you don't feel so alone, and you start to see folks that share the same experiences that you share. And then I also want to show you, as we introduce other tools like the heart shape assignment for training your brain or hands on the heart, you're going to see images of people around the world having this. Yes, thank you, everybody, for buying it. Thank you for being here. I will see you tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and here on Instagram as well. And that's it. I love you. I believe in you. Now it's your turn to use the tools in the high five habit to learn how to believe in yourself again, too. High five, everybody.